I've been playing a lot of Red Dead 2 over the weekend. I'd say I'm about 13 to 15 hours into the game, give or take. And I think I have somewhat of a feel of what to expect, gameplay and story-wise. So here's my thoughts, or my review, of Red Dead Redemption 2 so far. It's a good game. Do I think it's a masterpiece like other gaming websites do? No, not yet. But it's a really good game, don't get me wrong. The graphics are incredible to look at. The snow detail at the beginning looks lifelike, like real-life snow. The grassy lands and the wildlife look really good. The dirt and the muddy roads are insanely detailed. It's a very colorful world. The facial animations are a good step up from Grand Theft Auto 5, which were already good to begin with. Basically, if I was just rating this game on graphics alone, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. However, it's the gameplay and story where I have my gripes with this game. First of all, the story. We all know by now that Red Dead 2 is actually a prequel to the original Red Dead Redemption that came out back in 2010. And if you played that game like I did, then you really can't get invested in the story knowing the fate of certain characters in this game. For example, John Marston. He's the main character in the original Red Dead Redemption. Also, characters like Dutch and Bill Williamson make appearances in that game as well. So, while playing this game, never once do you expect anything bad to happen to those characters. You know they're not gonna die or anything like that. So it's hard to really get invested and really care about this story. And you know, all prequels really suffer from this, like Batman Arkham Origins, or hell, even the Star Wars prequels. It's really hard to get invested when you know what's going to happen next, or if certain characters are just doomed in the end. But now, we all like good stories in our video games, but the main course is, and always will be, the gameplay. A game can have an amazing story, but end up being all for naught if the gameplay is terrible. Fortunately, for Red Dead 2, the gameplay is not terrible, and in fact, it can be quite fun at times. However, it can also be very clunky at times, especially compared to more recent open-world games, perfect example being Horizon Zero Dawn, where everything felt smooth in that game, whereas here, there are times where you end up fighting with the controls. Sometimes Arthur or your horse does something that you didn't really want them to do, or you're trying to maybe loot someone or open a certain drawer or closet, and it can't really be done unless you're standing in a certain spot in a certain way. Plus, there could also be some pretty bad input lag at times, and that's not good. The gunplay is extremely similar to the first Red Dead Redemption and most recently Grand Theft Auto 5, so if you like the gunplay in those games, then you'll like it here. Me personally, I do enjoy the gunplay, but I will admit it can use some work. Then there is horseback riding, which is kind of fun at first. However, it can get really boring and tedious, especially when traveling to a mission that's nearly halfway across the map from where you are. The game is also very realistic, but sometimes a little too realistic, if you know what I'm trying to say. You know, there's nothing really wrong with adding a little bit of realism to the games, but this game overdoes it sometimes. Like, looting bodies is a little too long, as Arthur nearly has to pick up each body one at a time in order to loot it. Or you have to make sure you don't forget to take your weapons with you before leaving your horse behind. I know that happened to me a couple of times where I hitched my horse and I was walking away to go start the mission. I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, I gotta go back and get my horse. Make sure I have all my weapons with me, my bow and arrow, my shotgun, etc., etc. Also, you gotta clean your weapons and your horse for the best performance. Now, that all sounds really cool on paper, but like I said, in game, it can get a little boring and tedious. I kinda wish they had an option where you could turn down the realism just a little bit. Now, I know it may sound like I'm being a little too negative on the game, but when the game works, and you do everything just right, the game can be really, really fun, and it's an awesome Western cowboy simulator. Shootouts, hunting animals, and collecting bounties can be really fun and interesting at times. I just wish the gameplay was a little bit more on the smooth side, and it wasn't a prequel, or maybe it didn't involve characters that we already know their fate. I mean, it's cool seeing a young John Marston, but it's also hard to get invested when you know what's going to happen next. Now, having not beat the game yet, my review score is still on the pending side, but as of right now, from what I've played, I'd give Red Dead Redemption 2 a solid 8 out of 10. It's a great game, but it needs some work, and I don't know, but how do I say this? The first Red Dead was so special and was a perfect game at a perfect time, and this one just kind of feels like more of the same. I really don't want to use the word underwhelming, but I don't really know if we needed another Red Dead Redemption 2. I kind of wish we have gotten maybe a Bully 2 or even a Grand Theft Auto 6 from Rockstar Games instead, but hey, I'm still going to play this game. I'm still really enjoying it. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure after I edit this video, I'm going to go play some more Red Dead 2. What are your thoughts on Red Dead Redemption 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think this game is absolutely perfect? Do you think it's a masterpiece like a lot of the gaming websites reviews are saying? Or maybe you're kind of like me where you're a little bit disappointed and wish some things were fixed? Or maybe you're on the other side and you think this game is complete trash? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, this is Red Dead ELT, signing out.